Hello, this is a video explaining the game Monteriggioni, which is a 2 to 4 player tile laying game with a bit of strategic twist on a normal family style game. So I'll explain how it works, and to begin with, I'll just explain a bit about the theme. So this is about an Italian city called Monteriggioni, was or is placed between Florence and Siena in northern Italy. And the reason we chose this theme is because back in 1554 it was under attack by the Florentine Medicis. And at that point, the signore of the city needed help from his earls, his contis from the area to send him some help so that the city wouldn't be overrun. And that's what we're playing out. You are playing, or the players are contis in the area, and this is Monteriggioni in the middle, and your goal is to send these knights here into the city with as much equipment as they possibly can find along the way. Um, and that happens in a bit of a tiling manner. So the objective of the game is to build paths from your village here. The villages are here to the city, and during that path building, you will be putting up workshops, and you will be finding resources, and you will be building equipment for your knights. And I can just show you how that works. We have some tiles over here. So this is a workshop. I can just turn it around, and as you can see, this workshop, it has a road going through it, and it has some symbols here depicting that you can produce a helmet for your knight if you have access to leather and you have access to iron. Then there are other tiles like roads. These are the only ones with like a cross section, so you can split it up. And then you have different kinds of resource tiles. In this case, let's take this one. This gives us access to the leather depicted by the cow, and maybe let's say this one over here also has leather. If I can just put it here. All right, as you can see, these are actually pretty similar. They have different turns, but they also have a backside. So as part of the game, instead of placing a tile, you can flip a tile, and that gives it the necessary iron. And now you have access to both iron and leather, and that enables you to be able to build a helmet. And in this game, you can build as many things as you want on a tile as on a workshop tile, as long as it has access to the resources you need. Um, the connections break as soon as they reach a resource tile. So for instance, having this tile below here, oh, messing it up, will not give it access to corn. It doesn't need that, but it won't. And obviously also if it goes to another tile here, a workshop, then the connection also breaks and you cannot connect anything to this one from out here. So that's how the base mechanics work. And let's say we just remove these. Let's say you produce a helmet here. You would do so by taking one of the helmet tiles here and put it on the workshop, and that will designate that it's there to be able to be picked up. So if we transfer this to our little board, so every turn, just put this back. Every turn, a player has to take a tile from the middle. And there are 15 tiles in this setup because I set it up as a 2-player game. There would be more tiles if there were more players. Every time you need to take a tile, and in this case, let's say I want to take this tile, and I can then choose to either place it or discard it. If I discard it, I will put it out here in a pile. That gives me two options: to either move my knight, that doesn't make sense because I don't have much road at this point. I can move it 3 spaces, or I can upgrade a tile like I just showed you before by flipping it. That's for discarding. Otherwise, I would just place it and put it like here. Then the other guy would do something similar. And then it's my turn again. Now I need to find out how do I want to build my network so that I can get to the castle and also produce some stuff in the meantime. Let's say I want a resource tile. The only placement restriction is that you cannot build into walls or into edges that do not have a road, so they have to make sense. So in this case, I need to take something that bends, and I'm chosen this resource tile. The round after, I might take this tile. Um, if the other guy hasn't done it, that would give us me access to produce the helmet we just talked about, and I already had the leather, and so forth until I have a network of tiles that provides me with some different stuff, so that I can pick up with my knight. So in this case, let's say this one will actually give me iron. This one will give me the leather, and that means I can produce the helmet. Now I want to think about moving my knight. So maybe next round I would discard a tile to move my knight instead. And he would move like this and then pick up the helmet. Just put him like this. And the helmet then goes to the blue knight's track. So if you see down here on the player board, there are different tracks that you can keep track on how much equipment they picked up. In this case, I picked up a helmet, so that would give me 2 points if he reaches the castle at the end. If I get more equipment, I will get more points. Um, so that's roughly how it works. There's some different other things to talk about. There's treasure chests. So, for instance, I flipped this resource tile. Every flip resource tile will have a little treasure chest icon on the back side. So in this case, you would put a treasure chest on it like this, and you can pick those up with your knights as if they were equipment. But these will go to your hand instead, so they work as if they were cards really. And in this case, I would, if I move my knight there, I would be able to pick it up. It's a gem. We have other different things. That's also a gem. Then we have some tiles. In this one, you can steal a treasure from another player. This one, you can place a tile extra, and this is a 2-point gem, and so forth. And the gems are really useful. They will give you points in the end. As you can see, 1 point, 2 points for these gems. But you can also use them in the middle here, the Royal Trade Post, where you can pay to produce extra stuff if you're in dire need of a workshop and you didn't manage to find it and put it on your network. Obviously, it still needs to get connected to the right resources, but it's a nice little fallback option if you're in trouble in the end of the game. And then it's just picking tiles, making sure that you have a network, that you can move them to the castle, that this guy also have a plan, also get the equipment, and then in the end, before the tiles run out, then you have to put them in the city to score the points. So that's basically Monteriggioni for you. It's a super interesting game in terms of making strategic decisions, tactical decisions along the way. When do I steal a treasure? When do I use my gems? Do I do other things with my treasures? And there's also a nice point in the game where you go a little bit from building stuff and making sure you get the right equipment to finding out that you're actually in a little bit of a time squeeze and need to run towards the castle. Um, it's a it's a fun game for families who wants a little bit more out of it than just a luck and of the draw. There's definitely more to it here. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.